you.
Okay.
And then full screen mode.
Are you carrying? Because I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
There.
You guys leave from, what?
Like 10 minutes away.
Oh, okay. You guys didn't leave from the office together? Just came separately. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool.
That's a pretty cool name, Wolfpack.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, we like it. We like our logo too. This is our marketing chair. She designed
Hi.
our logo.
Thank
and
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
typography.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
What's that with the date?
Oh, that's when we were established.
Yeah, when we were founded, yeah.
You can talk today. We're ready whenever you are.
Oh, we ready?
Okay.
Okay, so good morning, Verizon Sharks. It's a real privilege to stand before you today to present our idea.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present today in front of you guys.
So let's get started. Before we go into the majority of our presentation, we want to recognize our team members that brought us here today. We couldn't have done it without them. And as you can see, I'm the treasurer for the organization.
And I'm the marketing chair, and today we're going to be presenting our vision on behalf of the entire team.
So Wolfpack is a technology organization with a vision. We want to change the way that information and media is shared within a geographic community. We want to empower our students to engage with the community on a whole new way, and we want to bring our community closer together. And the way we do that is with an app that we have developed that allow users to share pictures and videos anonymously with other users all around you. So essentially, we want to create we created a local geo bulletin board that lets students share interesting places, things, and events with our very own Rutgers University.
As a Rutgers student who's really highly involved in everything from academic clubs to cultural organizations, we find cross-promotion and sharing interesting events around you quite difficult. Wolfpack provides us with that solution to share things around you. Suppose I'm at a bake sale. I could take a picture of it and post it on Wolfpack for everyone around me to see.
So now that you got the general overview of what our app does, let's go into how it actually does that. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go over there and show you a presentation of our app. So first, when you open our app, right, there's a camera feed, just a standard camera. If you mind if I take a picture of you all? Share an interesting picture, share with the Rutgers students. I could take a picture of you all. I have, the standard typing tools. So I'm going to say Verizon Sharks. And as you can see right here, I have this function right here that I could put a picture on it and draw on it. I have all the drawing tools, a whole suite of editing tools. And we could howl to our pack. That's why we're called Wolfpack. And it allows other users to see that we have posted this picture or video. So right now, you see a local stream,
Yeah,
right?
next we can look at our stream. And the pictures that come up on here are posted by people around you in your geolocation. You can swipe up to like, swipe down to like, and the most popular pictures will be in the feed.
So as you can see right here, you just showed up in our feed, and other Rutgers students, you see that we have been presenting here. And on top of that, to remember all your college moments, right, the highlight reels, all the best moments, we even included a local leaderboard that shows you the best pictures of all time, the most favorited events of all time, places, things, and people.
So this is our current user base. Right now we have over 1,500 users spread out on 4 different campuses, and our daily user to swipe ratio is 59, so that means for every user they've seen approximately 59 photos.
So, and moving forward, we want to continue our momentum, and this is our growth strategy. We want to targeted marketing where we focus on student organization, other student organizations, groups, or individuals that want to promote themselves, that want to give a piece of history of Rutgers back to the community and continuing advertising our community, and etc.
We want to incentivize the invitation of new users because with the bring about of new users, we will have better content.
And finally, because we have increased a user base, we want to accommodate our technology for our growing traffic. We want to increase our server size. We want to make our technology, so it doesn't lag as much or lacking as much. And we will continue building our platform so that it's the most efficient as possible.
And finally, we want to use the advice that we get from our Rutgers students to improve our application.
And yeah.
So this is our goals for the next year. By the end of this school year, we want to be able to conquer the entire Rutgers community of over 30,000 students. And after that, we want to spread out and branch out our organization.
And finally, so far, we have spent our $10,000 budget, and this is how we have used it. Because we are a software platform, we didn't have much capital expenditure in actually, renting places, buying products. It's simply all developed on a software platform. But the majority of our usage of our budget is within marketing, getting the word out and putting Wolfpack into the hands of our students. And finally, this is our ask. Verizon Sharks, we hope to seek your investments to continue our viral marketing efforts and bring Wolfpack to even more Rutgers students and the community beyond, so we could share Rutgers University with the communities all around us.
And this concludes our presentation. So we'd like to thank you for taking your time to listen to us.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you could contact me or Devansh. We're the main points of contact for Wolfpack. And if there's any further questions now, we'd be happy to answer them.
So how is this different from, say, how is this different from, say, Facebook? I mean, I guess aside from the anonymity part.
So the way I see Facebook is very individualized. It is a platform that allows users to showcase their personal life events to other users around them. But ours is more real time. Ours allows users to share media to other users instantly, whether you're friends or not. It's geolocation based. And if there is a platform that is kind of similar to us, it would be a combination of Snapchat and Yik Yak. But media has a much more stronger presence in our app.
How do you acquire new users currently?
Currently, so we have run different marketing promotions, campaigns. Arthis is our marketing chair. So what have you done with your sorority?
So basically, we have run different promotions with organizations on campus where we incentivize them to use the app so many times a day so that we would promote one of their images on the leaderboard that day. If they meet the requirements, then we would promote their organization.
On top of that, we're also partnered with several local businesses. So if you take our app to, let's say, 16 handles at Livingston, you could actually get discount on Froyo.
So do you guys have any, or is it like a charge? Is it free for them to sign up for
Yeah,
the
it's
students?
completely
Yeah, the
free. You don't
application
even
is
need to
free.
make a user account.
Okay, so how are you gaining monetary wise?
So the way we see it is we are running a user-based model. We hope in the future to generate ad revenue, but for that to happen, we need a user base first. So with that, I think that it's very powerful because essentially we could have very targeting marketing for our communities. Local businesses could have a chance to promote themselves, on just a very small scale level instead of buying ads, for everybody.
Do the pictures disappear after a while?
Yeah, so
So there's a 24-hour basis that the photo remains in the feed until it disappears.
Okay.
And what's the advantage of having the posting anonymously?
So we think that anonymity is beneficial because, Rutgers is a very diverse organization, and certain times there are student protests, like recently with the Milo and etc. We want to let students be comfortable and share their opinion without kind of the judgment of others. Because I noticed in the Daily Targum, in that protest, that student was pinpointed out whether she wanted to or not. Because she did want to, be recognized, she has that option. But if she doesn't want to, then, she could have the chance to stay anonymous.
What efforts have you guys done to kind of stem bullying within the application, right? Because if you have an app that allows people to anonymously share content, like Yik Yak, and I'm sure you guys have heard that Yik Yak was a little controversial on some campuses, right? Do you guys have any features or services within the application to take that in consideration?
Yeah, that's a great question. We actually have two filtering algorithms. The first is you could report inappropriate content. So once you report it, the picture automatically goes to a separate server where our team gets to filter the pictures ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, there's also the voting algorithm, where if there is a picture that receives too many negative votes, we would automatically also take that picture off the server.
When you're posting a photo on the application, you have the option to mark it as NSFW or not. So it's based on the users.
Okay.
It's only pictures, right? No videos?
There is
currently?
You can
Videos.
post videos.
Yeah.
Okay. How long?
Like a
It's-
5-second clip.
Yeah, it's a standard.
Okay.
And this is just purely video, no live conversation,
No.
comments or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that way it also, prevents bullying because if you
Gotcha.
could, message directly people, then.
How much funding are you asking for?
So I know that it's by rankings. So obviously we're here. We want to win first place.
Can you toggle on and off the anonymity piece? So for instance, if a business or a local business does not want to be anonymous, if they want people to know who they are,
Mhm.
can you still do that?
Yeah. So we have a texting option. You could, post, a picture of where your location is, and just type in your address, and other students will be able to find it.
But the pictures are geolocated, right? So
Yeah.
if I see like you're in a garage sale and somebody posts about the garage sale,
Yeah.
I just click on the garage sale and it will give me the specific location where the garage sale is located.
If that user who posted the photo wants to identify their location, they can choose to do so, but otherwise it won't be there.
Is tag is the location tag to the picture,
Oh,
or you have to
okay.
type it?
I see your question. So right now we have that option for that, and that would probably be expanded in the future. But currently we don't allow geotagging, where you can actually physically send out a location. But we have the geographic coordinates. When every time a user posts that information, so we definitely could access that info.
Okay.
So in an urban environment, you have, I guess, a lot of, you have built up a huge user database, and there are a lot of people posting. How do you distinguish between those locations that are, very close together? I mean, how do you distinguish one event from the next when you're doing the sorting in the list?
Oh, so like you're talking about time-wise or location-wise?
Location-wise.
Location-wise, so the way why we wanted to make it kind of anonymous and anti-geolocation is that we want users to be able to recognize, the events are around them. It's because since the mile radius is so close, when you post the pictures, chances are those people who see the picture will already know where it is. If I take a picture of Bush Student Center and it's geofenced within Rutgers University, many students would know exactly where I am.
So one last question. So where do you guys see taking this? What's the next step, the next level in the next year or two or so? What's your
Yeah.
future vision?
Vision. So as you can see, back on our growth timeline right here. So these are the number of users that we want to acquire, in the next year. We want to be able to share Wolfpack with the majority of our campus today because Rutgers has 30,000 users. By June, we will hope to reach about 25,000 users. Our ultimate vision is to be able to change the way that information is shared globally. It's a little bit, maybe it's a reach right now, but we want to be able to change protests, not even just at Rutgers University, but let's say at the umbrella protests in Hong Kong, at, different, at the Ferguson protests, where users can share what they feel and what is interesting all around them. And on top of that, we want to change the way advertisements are, distributed too. We want to allow local businesses to have a chance to reach their community without having to pay for, a Facebook ad that is, way overpriced, reaches a user base that is not targeted.
Okay. All right. You guys have any questions? You good? All right. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
very much.
ready. Go ahead.
All right,
Good.
so hello, my name is Nitika Yadlapalli,
Hi, I'm Matab Chaudhary.
and we're here with the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. So to start off, I just want to give you a quick summary of what our organization is. So we're the Rutgers student chapter of the national organization of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. While one of our goals is to promote more students to join the national organization and reap its benefits, within our own community, we just want to promote networking within the students and as well as just general professional development. So examples of some events we've held are like welcome back socials for our students to get to know each other, as well as we're hosting a technical workshop to teach kids about Arduino later this week. So just a couple examples of the great things that we've been working on.
Okay, so the main thing we're here to speak about today is the SPDC. So what it is a Student Professional Development Conference. It's held all around the globe. Different universities have chapters of ASME as well. They do it. So in this conference, a lot of things go on. Competitions happen, like technical competitions, design competitions, poster, oral presentations, things like that, as well as workshops. So a bunch of workshops happen. Maybe companies that sponsor, they come out, they do a workshop, or maybe something part of the university like career services were to hold a resume clinic, something like that. So the university is liable for catering to all the conference attendees, as well as just being hospitable to them, as well as providing them with ASME things. So that's what we're here to speak about.
So I'm just going to talk more in depth about what the conference at Rutgers will entail. So in the fall, we were invited by the student program coordinator of the national organization to host a conference here at Rutgers, partially because our chapter is kind of new, upcoming, so she thought this would be a great opportunity to get our name out. So we accepted, and our conference date will be Friday, April 22nd to Sunday, April 24th. So just a quick overview of what will be happening. Friday afternoon, we're going to have all of our conference attendees come in. There'll be registration, check-in, and then some kind of social mixer, icebreaker type of activity. Saturday, there'll be a full slew of competitions as well as some professional development activities. And then Sunday, there'll be the closing banquet. So as Matab said, we're responsible for hosting the locations, having food, and as well as a couple of traditional items, such as providing t-shirts for the conference as per tradition of previous conferences, as well as providing lanyards as a form of identification, as we wouldn't want anybody from the outside who's not registered participate in our conference activities, and also to provide information booklets so competitors and attendees who come know the locations of everything, campus maps, as well as information about our sponsors. So coming to the cost of the conference, a lot of it is being covered by a registration fee. So the registration fee is actually beneficial to Rutgers students, as there's two fees. There's one for people who are members of the national organization, and then a second fee, which is $30 extra if you're not part of the national organization. But as courtesy to people who attend Rutgers, we're offering them the discounted fee instead. So it's a great benefit for Rutgers students to attend. So while registration fees are going to cover a large part of it, we are also looking towards outside sponsors to help us fund the conference.
So far, we have two companies that are helping us out. So L'Oreal and Comsol are helping us out with the sponsorship. They were interested in it, but the main point here for the benefits of the sponsors, you're going to get exposure to a couple of hundred people that are going to be here. We're going to have the companies, logos, brands, everything advertised all throughout our things. So we're going to have bags, bottles, shirts, whatever you may have. We're going to have the logo on there. But there are different tiers of the sponsorships. So the higher you go, the more exposure you get, and the more benefit the company has in order to get the advertising, to get exposure. But for example, if you were, it's not even that far apart. So usually companies would go with the highest sponsorship, and you would be broadcasted all over the. We're making a huge banner, so their company's going to be there, and potentially that would increase the customers. And maybe future people in the future that want to maybe apply to the company, be a great valuable asset to them.
So just to clarify on that point, our sponsorship levels start at, so $200 is our minimum level, and if you give $200, we give you access to the resumes of all the students who come to the conference, The next tier is our bronze sponsorship, which is a minimum of 500. So of course, access to student resumes as well as a small logo placed on all of our conference apparel, which is the shirts, the banner, if we have water bottles, something like that. And the next tier would be 1,000, which is our silver sponsorship. It's all of the previous benefits as well as the opportunity to hold an information session. And if you're interested beyond that, our gold sponsorship is a minimum of 1,500. And there's more benefits like larger logos in more places, more space on our website to host an informational page, as well as a longer information session. So thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you.
if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
So I have one. How
Yes.
are you currently recruiting sponsors?
So we started off with asking our mechanical engineering department head, Professor Coutinho, to see who has any contacts with the department itself. And as the department is vouching for the conference and helping us plan for it, it is beneficial for them to reach out to contacts that they're aware of. So that's how we asked L'Oreal, reached out to L'Oreal to maybe help us. We have another sponsor from ComSol. They're basically like a mechanical engineering modeling software. And we had a contact through them as one of our committee members actually researches under a professor who has contacts in the company. So we've mostly been reaching out through like personal contacts.
How many attendees are you expecting at the conference?
For now, around 150.
Around 250.
Around 250, 150 to 250. That fluctuates on, how much time we have to publicize and how many people register ahead of time, because there are like late registration fees, and then we're going to cap it at a certain amount.
But based on past events, at least, someone we know from Temple hosted this event last year. He said 225 members attended his conference, and looking at summaries from previous years, for conferences around this like Northeast area at least, between 200 and 250 is expected.
Okay.
What's the cost of a registration fee, and what's the budget that you guys have for this, the total budget for the event?
So the cost of the registration fee is if you're an ASME nationally registered member or you're a student of Rutgers, it would be $60. If you're not either of those, it's a $90 registration fee, and that's for a normal registration. So if you're registering less than a month before the conference, we add $20 on as a late fee. So in terms of budgeting, our main costs that we're taking care of are booking various rooms within this same facility, actually, the Bush Campus Center. We've rented out this room, the International Lounge, as a couple of classrooms to hold the competition. So renting out all of these spaces and providing the adequate setup, as well as catering, and both of those are major costs for the conference.
But in terms of numbers, do you have
In terms of numbers? Sure, so we're expecting that the entire conference is going to cost around $17,000, and from registration fees, we're expecting to make between $14,000 to $15,000 of that much.
Okay.
So who are the judges for the competitions?
So the judges for the competition have to be ASME national members on the professional level. So we have student memberships, but if you're a professional mechanical engineer, you would have a professional membership. So people who are registered and are part of like professional chapters would reach out and help us judge the competitions. That is actually being taken care of by the student programs coordinator at ASME National.
Okay.
What about for alumni of the school? Do you have any thoughts of different price for costs for them or registration?
With the cost and registration, they would be maybe taking it under account into. Wait, are you saying?
For people who've graduated from Rutgers?
Rutgers?
This is an undergraduate conference.
So I'm talking about the judges. Is it like, as you said, they're professionals? I'm not understanding what.
Oh, you mean, are we considering like Rutgers
Yes,
alumni?
Right.
Okay, so I mean, if there are Rutgers alumni who are registered under ASME, we
Right,
would be
that
more
one.
than happy to ask them, actually.
And another thing is we're having a graduate student panel, so they're kind of in the conference without paying. The people that are in that informational, they're like graduate mechanical students from Rutgers or maybe from other places. But they're gonna help students out by seeing what is graduate school about, if you like it or not, what you do it on.
The application process.
Yeah, basically everything about it. So
Oh, okay. So there's no cost to be in the ASME, for them to register For an
For
alumni?
them to judge the competition,
Right.
or to like be part of it.
To be part of it.
Oh no, yeah, we're not charging our judges. No.
Okay.
Any more questions?
I think we're good.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so
I
much,
appreciate the
and
time.
we hope you enjoyed our pitch.
Yeah.
A little bit about ourselves. We were founded in 1984 by 7 engineers. The Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers was founded in 1974, and in 1988 we were a recognized chapter. So the reason why our name is not SHEP is because we were founded before. We wanted to keep our roots. So our chapter mission is to recruit, retain, and graduate students in STEM. Specifically minority students. Our 5 pillars are academic achievement, chapter development, leadership development, professional development, and community service.
For our membership, we have a lot of benefits for our members. So we have academic support, and we'll go into more detail in the future slides. And we have professional development and leadership development. Within our e-board, there's 15 positions. And then within the e-board, there's committees where our members could excel in leadership and learn about leadership. And then we have a bunch of conferences to offer to our many members. And we have different community service opportunities, and we have many different internship and scholarship opportunities for our members, as well as networking, because we have a great alumni network.
So academic support, we have every Tuesday, we have study nights where our members can get tutor access. So our upperclassmen would tutor the underclassmen, and there's tutors for those who are upperclassmen. We also have a mentoring program, which this year we're going to try to develop a professional mentoring program, so connecting with companies or alumni and making sure that everybody has access to those opportunities. We also have community service. So one of our big community service events is this year is going to be our first year where we do a biannual shadow program where high school juniors and seniors come on campus and they get exposure to not only what Rutgers is like, but they get to learn about financial aid, and they get to network with companies. And this year Verizon is actually sponsoring our entire spring shadow program. So professional leadership. Professional leadership, one of our events that we have every year is our annual Sweet Meet Career Fair, which this year we had over 46 companies. We also have different conferences where we attend. We have our National Institute of Leadership Academy, which is for our e-board members or members to attend every year, which every year is hosted at Facebook.
So a little bit about our chapter development. We have an annual multicultural festival. We're one of the only engineering organizations that actually hosts a multicultural festival, and we get up to 100 members, or it could be families within Rutgers, or it could be our student board just coming in. And there's different performances, and this year is actually our 10th annual, so we're trying to bring it up a notch and having more diversity among our performances. And then we also host an annual She Meet Date auction. This is our charity event, and this year we're fundraising for child abuse in New Jersey. And then we have our annual banquet where we honor our members. For example, we would have the highest GPA, the freshman of like the year, basically the freshman who excelled the most or was recognizable the most. And then we have general chapter developments. Every month we try to host one, and last week we went paintballing, which was really fun. And last month we went ice skating, and then we've done Applebee's, movies, just things like that to have a really good, not just a connection with the e-board, but the connection with the e-board and the members, to have that easy approach that any member could come up to us and ask a question about anything. So why She? So we have an idea for implementing for next year, and this would be an engineering festival. It would be from ages 8 to 12, and it would be in the fall semester, where we would go to a student, or when you go to a little kid, let's say, I have a brother, he's 8, and every time, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's usually CEO of Walmart, or a mayor, or a firefighter, but you never hear, oh, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a mechanical engineer, I want to be a chemical engineer. Why? Because they don't really know what engineers do or who engineers are. So we want to have this event where we would partner up with companies, and then we'd break up into age groups. And for an 8-year-old, we could just show that these 2 wires could just turn on a light bulb. Or for a 12-year-old, we'll talk about systems, you know, how an AC works, what actually happens, you know, the process that goes into that. And we want to not just partner up with companies, but different organizations within engineering to show these kids, okay, you know, there is engineers, and we contribute so much to our everyday life basis, and we do a lot for you guys.
So another event that we want to demonstrate White She. So we have, this year is our first year where we had a spring shadow, and we also had a fall shadow. So the fall shadow is focused on only seniors, since it's time for you to apply for to college. So during the fall shadow, we explain to them like what you should have on your college essay. Like there's the financial aid advisor there, or the deans come to speak to the students, and there's we brought in a motivational speaker which taught them about their brand and what they need to have in order during their interview, how they need to speak during an interview, because a lot of high school students don't have that exposure. Mm-hmm. So this year we only had 20 students since it was our first year, but next year we would like to expand to 35 students. This way we can have more students being exposed to this. One thing we notice is a lot of these students are minority students who are first generation. Their parents, they have no guidance besides themselves and what they learn at school or coming to programs like this. So this is something that we really believe in, because I went through the program as well, and that's how I decided that I wanted to come to Rutgers.
Yeah, and like from fall semester, we had a lot of our members that attended the event actually reach out to us and say how thankful that they were for us, for giving them all this information, for encouraging them to apply to multiple schools. And we want to increase from 20 students to 35 students, so we could, you know, benefit other people, so they could benefit from our event. And then that's why we want to increase it from 1 night to 2 night stay. So, you know, have more things incorporated into our shadow program.
So our spring shadow is 3 days, and students get a lot more out of it since they have more time on campus. We could bring in more organizations, we could bring in more companies. Like this year we'll have Verizon, we're going to have Boeing here. We have a representative every year from TI Cref, which he's a motivational speaker. And students benefit a lot from it because they get to understand different perspectives, and not only a student's perspective, so like what do you do once you're in the corporate world. And for me, that when I went through the program, that's how I started my network. So at that time we used to bring in Johnson & Johnson, and I started that network, and because of that network, today I've had so many more opportunities, because that's where it all started. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you for listening to us.
Yeah, so
No, you can go ahead.
how are you guys recruiting students for the events that you guys are planning?
So for the Shadow program, what we do is we have a connection with different high schools. So it could be like all over the tri-state area or like anywhere in New Jersey, and we send them applications. So they go through an application process. Just like you apply to school, you know, you have to write an essay, you have to tell us your grades, what you're taking, if you took an AP classes. And with that, we have a board to read through the applications, and from that we pick students to come out and, you know, attend the event. For our the event that we want to do, an engineering festival for ages from 8 to 12, we would reach out to the same high schools and try to implement different high schools, but let them know that, you know, this is an age group that we're looking for, and that we would honor it if they could, you know, like just reach out to different parents for us and like have them bring their kids over, and it'll be a day event, and we could probably have something for the parents so they don't have to go back and come back.
Yeah. So during our shadow, usually in the fall, in the spring, what usually we have is a workshop for parent specific. So we have so that they can also understand, since it's most of the time that's their first kid going to school, so that they also understand, like, this is what I need to help my child get to where he or she wants to be. So we also have a lot of freshmen who are members of our organization, and since they just got out of high school, they just got out of the like K through 12 school system, they can also reach out to their teachers and that they had, and our teachers as well, that we continuously have that relationship with. And we're constantly also going to schools to talk about STEM, so we could use that network that we already have at the school, different school systems throughout the state, to help us implement this program.
You have a budget for the engineering festival?
Right now we're looking for, I would say, between 5,000 to 7,000, depending on how many students we could get in to the program. And then what, you know, it goes into food, would have giveaways, and because it's an all day, we would have breakfast, lunch, and possibly dinner. And the different products we'd have to buy to host the workshops also.
The shadow program, that one is usually around the same price. This year we had over $5,000 for the spring, and for the fall, since there was only 20 students, we still had a $3,000 budget that we had to work with.
You guys good?
Any more questions?
No,
Good.
I'm good.
Guys, thank you very much for
Yeah,
coming.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Please stand.
Is it just the next one?
Oh, no.
Okay, so good morning. We're from Theta Tau, professional engineering fraternity. My name is Elias Argyris,
And my name is Andrew Martinez.
and we just want to talk to you guys a little bit why we would want you to invest in our organization.
So before we go into the project or event that we want you to invest in, we just wanted to give a little bit of background on Theta Tau. So as Elias mentioned before, we are the only professional engineering fraternity that's co-ed. And currently we have 60 members, but have a total members of 100 plus, which includes alumni. And from there, we've gotten a lot of leadership, and we grew a lot of, planned a lot of events. So our national establishment was on October 15th, 1904, and we were actually established recently here at Rutgers in February of 2013. And with internships, with full-time jobs, we gotten a lot of connections through that, which you could see some of the companies that a lot of our brothers have worked for. Along with that, we've done a lot with the School of Engineering as well as the Rutgers community. We've hosted some events such as the Cars Smash, Researchers Present, and Tell Tall Tales, as well as done a lot of Habitat for Humanity builds. Involvement outside of Theta Tau, we've participated greatly in Rutgers University Dance Marathon, where we have a lot of leadership there, meaning we have a lot of people leading that program, as long as placing in the SpaceX Hyperloop Pod competition. And we also have a lot of leadership position in other organizations such as Society of Women's Engineering, Engineering Governing Council, and a lot more in the School of Engineering.
So one thing every semester that we do with our new members is we make them come up with a product and a company that's not yet out on the market. So the goal is sort of to get them to utilize like teamwork skills and design skills and to come together. So the timeline of the project is usually around 6 weeks total. And we've broke it up into 3 different parts. The first part is a product design, and we ask them to present on their idea, the technical benefits of it, and the reason for the product to hit the market. And we ask them to do some sort of 3D simulation of it. The second part consists of a business plan, and that's usually about defining the target market, who the target audience is, who would buy it, and why would they buy it. And the third part is the financial report. And we asked them to outline sort of the budget cost of the product per material and how much would it cost to reach the consumer, and just sort of to give us a projection over the years. So we asked them to do these presentations in front of the Brotherhood, and we sort of set it up similar to this, where they're supposed to be pitching to us for an investment. So some past examples that we've had are on the bottom. The Uber Band and the Uber Clip were one project. And the Uber Band was supposed to help people who had hearing issues, and it would alert the user if a certain noise was directed towards them. And we found out later on that a similar product that actually hit the market a year later. The Uber Clip was to assist people with vision issues, and it would basically alert them if they were walking near an object or something. And that was actually later pursued in a senior design project in the electrical and computer department. And the last one was a HydroSense water bottle, and with using sensors, it detected the user's glucose level and hydration levels. And that too was also later pursued as a senior design project. So we want to bring this event, a very similar concept, to the School of Engineering or to Rutgers as a whole. So we sort of did a rough outline of what the event would look like. So we sort of did it over a 3-month plan. During the first month, we let people form teams and sort of give us their product idea and design. The second month would be about the business plan. They would submit a business plan. The third month would be about the financial report. And it would come together the 3 months, and there would be a presentation on the product and on the business plans. And we would have company representatives sit there and judge the presentations and award winners.
So some benefits of the events when it comes to the student aspect is definitely getting the information that you learn in your engineering classes and taking it outside the classroom when it comes to hand-on experience, as well as teamwork, public speaking, and documentation. And when you invent a product and it goes and it's patented, it's a very good resume builder, as well as just like the experience of going through that process. For Verizon, you're sponsoring an event where a lot of inventions and just products are being made. So you're on the front line of investing if you wanted to pursue something for the company or as a side product. As well as it's more of like a recruiting event where you get to meet all these contestants and see different sides of engineers when it comes to the more creative side. And finally, it's just for both the student and Verizon, it's just another way to get to know each other.
Thank you very much for your time. If there are any questions?
The judges for the event and the competition, they could come from the company sponsors, right?
Yeah, we were hoping it would be like company representatives.
How many products are usually presented at this, and how many folks per team?
So we were thinking about 4 to 6 per team, and we were at max. We were thinking about 20 products to be presented, but you know, throughout the 3-month period, we would cycle it. So when it comes to the first stage that Elias was talking about, we would see the different products and what could go through, and just like base it off of there.
There's like a vetting process throughout at each stage.
I think it's more in the first stage.
On the
We were
first.
thinking after, we would let teams, the first month would be like anyone can have a submission. After the 1 month, it would be reviewed, and then only a certain number of teams would be asked to continue to pursue the last 2 months.
Yeah. Okay.
But the
What-
whole purpose of like the check-in points is just to see how the projects are going, like how the teams are doing, and you know, just checking in if they're still working towards the final round.
Okay.
What is your budget for this type of event?
So we still, we've done a lot of events when it comes to like the School of Engineering as well as just here at Rutgers, and we know most of the budget comes from the room booking, like getting speakers to come if we want that, or just like transportation for the judges. But the main thing that we want to do is have, is just to further pursue the products, because we've done this in just like Theta Tau when it comes to our new member class, and a lot of products like later on they've gone on to get patents, but like from other people, meaning that if we had the budget and if we had the money to pursue that, then we would have been the first one to invent the product.
Just to clarify, you guys are asking for money for the event or
For the products.
to pursue the products?
Well, for the event itself.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously we need a budget to fund the product. For the event.
Right.
So that money would obviously go towards, you know, starting the event and supporting that. Afterwards, I mean, I always thought it would be, the companies that were there, it would also be a great opportunity for them if they wanted to invest in the products that are presented themselves. I don't think, as an organization, we would invest in the products that are presented just because it's not what, we didn't come up with it. We're asking other students to come up with a product.
Do you have any projected like costs to these products that they create? Like I need numbers.
Okay. I would say if we wanted to have like food, I know in terms of room bookings here in like a student center, I would say it would cost around like $100, say for the day. Maybe say $200 if we wanted to have food and stuff like that at the event. And then I guess depending on how we wanted to award prizes as well, if we want to do tech prizes, say maybe around, I'd say total budget would be around $1,000, if not less.
You know, on previous events, how many products made it to the round, the final?
So we've never hosted an event like this. Our experience with it is just having our new members do it as a team building exercise, and sort of for them to get used to working together and getting to know each other. So every semester, the class is usually around 10, give or take 1 or 2, and they have 6 weeks to do it.
So is the idea that Verizon is on the tail end of the competition, or do you want us in the beginning helping out some of the teams mature their product?
I think with Verizon, it should be more of like working throughout, just like helping, mentoring, but also seeing like helping us when it comes to which products will like sustain or will move on if it was to be pursued.
So you want us in the beginning of the
As
life
well.
cycle of the
I would-
program?
Throughout, but I was just saying like because you were asking more at the beginning.
Okay.
So I work for the Verizon Innovation Program, and I mostly work with machine-to-machine Internet of Things products. How many of those products have you seen in the past from the competition? Just want to get a sense of what kind of products have entered into the competition.
So we haven't actually done this before, like outside. We sort of
Okay.
have an idea, like internally in terms of our organization, and we want to bring it outside.
Okay.
Gotcha. So I'm not sure how to
Okay.
answer that, other than I can say like what products I know off the top of my head we've seen like pursued elsewhere, have sort of like we've seen similar products hit the market before or pursued in like
Okay.
senior design
Gotcha.
classes.
Okay. And is it product ideas, or do you require a prototype, or I mean, and I guess a business plan? What are the criteria?
Yeah, so if you can go back, another slide. So basically, this is just like, these are the questions that you were, like,
Okay.
it's more on this, meaning, yeah, there's a prototype, and each stage has different things that you have to hit, like different categories. So yeah, you need a prototype, you need to kind of look at marketing itself and just like how much it would cost to make the product, how much it would cost to distribute it, like, and also just looking at the budget overall.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
All right. Are you guys good? Any questions? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is John Roach,
And I'm Osbo Dorville.
and we are sophomore year civil engineering students representing NASTT, which stands for the North American Society of Trenchless Technology.
So what trenchless technology is basically the installment and replacement of underground utilities with minimum excavation and surface disruptions.
What we're offering today is a ground-penetrating radar. Now, what a ground-penetrating radar does is it shoots radio waves down into the ground, detects anomalies, shoots it back up to the control unit. It also, besides the control unit, it has an antenna and also a battery.
So the way the GPR works is it sends radio waves from the antenna to the ground. Since the GPR is sensitive to material composition, this is how it locates objects underground. Once it locates an object underground, it sends the radio waves back up to the GPR, and then the control unit records all the data and displays it on the LCD panel.
Now, some of the uses are, it can be used to locate utilities on the ground, which is very useful for civil engineers. Also, it can be used to locate voids for geophysical surveying. And also, it can scan concrete to locate post-tension and post-compression cables, which can be important for structural analysis. Next slide. Why GPR? Some of the limitations that other devices have, GPR has benefits that exceed those. Like, a lot of devices use gamma radiation. And as a lot of us know, radiation can prove to be harmful to the environment and the user. Now, instead of radiation, GPR uses radio waves that shoot down, detect anomalies, and send them back up. Also, when it's sent back up to the GPR, it puts in the control unit, and the control unit can put them in software like AutoCAD, GPS, or even produce pseudo 3D images, which is really useful for civil engineers.
So over time, subgrade materials beneath floors tends to wear out due to machinery or erodes from water pipes, or simply due to the life of the structure. So this can cause air pockets without detection, and this can also lead to sinkholes, or even worse, the floor collapsing. Now with the GPR, this can all be avoided because it could detect the issues because of how efficiently and convenient the process is overall. Now, due to this, the area of detection can be preserved, and the existing structure doesn't have to be tampered with. Now, here are some examples of sinkholes happening in certain subgrade material?
The benefits of ground penetrating radar. It's quick and precise. It only requires one skilled technician to use as opposed to other devices which may require a team or a group of people. It's non-destructive, as I said before. There's no radiation. It's just simply radio waves. And also, it's going to reduce the cost and risk of your company. By detecting faulty infrastructure, it's going to prevent future hazards, and it's also going to save you money in the long run.
So while the GPR has many benefits, it still has its own limitations. First of all, certain underground materials, such as soils that are highly salt contaminated or rocky, tend to decrease the depth or accuracy of the radio waves to detect the objects underground. Another limitation is it requires a lot of energy, which can be problematic when doing extensive field surveys. This can also limit where the GPR can be applied to. And lastly, the GPR requires a technician that is specifically trained to operate this device, because the technician is responsible for conducting and designing the GPR surveys, as well as interpreting and transferring the recorded data to the clients.
We believe the benefits of the GPR greatly outweigh the limitations on itself and other devices. We believe that the quick, precise, and safe, cost-effective manner in which GPR conducts its radar would prove very grateful to civil engineers everywhere. Thank you for your time.
Just a couple of questions, if I may. So I'm not very familiar with ground penetrating radars. Can you tell me a little bit more how this work is done currently? And then also, so you mentioned there is a display device. Can you think of use cases where it would be good to transmit that information back to, say, a cloud or some kind of backend?
Well, the information would actually be stored in the control unit, which could then be connected to a computer and then work with that software. Before what you said about other devices, right now the current means of inspecting underground would be like actually breaking ground and inspecting it, like actually going into the ground. Or, as I said before, other devices would use the radiation, which is harmful.
Okay.
What stage are you guys in? Do you have a prototype? Are you still developing this, or?
Yeah, we're still developing it.
But how far along are you?
Well, we're just pitching the idea right now, but the development of it is still currently underway.
So this is using RF, right?
Using
Radio.
radio waves.
Radio frequencies. Yes.
So, what about disruption from other RF sources? Would that hinder the results that are coming back to your device?
Well, the radio waves would be going underground, and there's not many other radio signals being passed through underground. And also, like, it would the software would realize and recognize.
Like I said in the presentation, the GPR is sensitive to material composition.
Right.
So when the radio waves are sent underground, it detects like the different densities of what's underground, and then it records it on the control unit.
So you have algorithms. So what's the special sauce? Is it the hardware? Is it the software? Is it both?
It's both. It's the software and the hardware.
Okay. And what about the software is special?
Well, no, store the information. It would put it into software such as AutoCAD or GPS.
There's no algorithms or anything that's.
Oh, yeah, that's all with the programming. Yeah, the algorithms.
Have you guys had a chance to test it out? I mean, what kind of, I guess, have other people tried out this technology? I'm just trying to understand where this technology is coming from.
Oh, yeah, other people have tried out this technology.
Okay.
And we, unfortunately, have not. But with the demos that we've seen, it's proved to be very useful and beneficial.
So is this something that you guys came up with, or is it that this is a deviation of something that you've seen?
This is something that like already is in place. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So as far as cost, what are numbers? What are the
Costs
numbers
for
in
companies would range from about $9,000 to $11,000, depending on where you would get your quote from.
Also depends on the area of detection or what type of
Yeah.
material you're going through, whether it's like concrete or just plain soil, dirt.
So is that the cost per device or the cost to do a study on a particular?
I'm sorry, what?
Is it per device?
Yeah, the cost that you just mentioned is per device, or that's the cost to do a study on a particular?
It's the cost
We-
per device. Yeah.
Because you only need one device to
Yeah.
do a survey.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, I might have missed it, but are you asking for funding on something, or
Yeah, we're asking for funding for our company.
for
I mean, for NESTT.
in order to get one of those devices?
Well, no, in order to like kind of go out, find a company, and be able to like work with this device.
Okay.
Hold on, but the idea is to develop, for you guys to develop.
Yeah, we also
and
want to get
create.
into the technology and like figure out how it works and develop it.
Also, you guys are planning on buying one, and then
No, we don't plan on buying
Benchmark?
one. $10,000 is much out of our pay grade as a club. We plan on going to companies and working with the technology with those companies.
So the ones who already has
ones
this,
who possess the technology.
the technology behind the
Yeah,
tool
GPR.
itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the money used for?
Hmm?
What's if we give you money? What's it used for?
Do you want to take this one?
It'll allow us to like go to like a company, like a site visit, or as well like help them promote this device because it's more efficient. Like it also saves money while currently companies are using like are making. Oh man.
It would allow us to go to these companies and also be able to use the money to obviously get to these companies and also even afford some of the minor technologies associated with it, such as AutoCAD and GPS, but not like the advanced $1,000 technology that goes into this.
So what is your end goal? Are you looking to develop this product?
Yes, we're looking to develop it,
Okay.
and like as the limitations that we mentioned earlier, we're looking to get past those limitations by developing the technology.
Okay. Have you guys looked at the marketplace at all to see if there's a demand for this type of product?
Oh yeah, we have looked it up. There's many companies out there offering like sale of this to civil engineering firms. We've looked up quotes. We've called some companies and gotten quotes just to figure out like general pricing of it.
Okay. Any more
Okay.
questions?
No? We're
Uh,
good?
thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for your time.
Thank you.
I'm here on behalf of RUMM, which is Rutgers University Marketing and Media. We are a new organization, and we are applying for funding. Now, who are we? We are a team of marketers and designers who are interested in public relations and marketing, and we'd like to apply that in our university setting. Now, why did we create an organization? Because Rutgers, as great as it is, has its own news and media relations department. But when we reached out to try and form a student connection, to have our students and members participate and try to shape Rutgers media, they told us that they didn't currently have a student program that allows us to become involved with the university's image. And so we felt the need to create an organization for it, because most marketing organizations are based on internships and making networking connections. So, Rutgers University Marketing and Media, we have three goals, three main goals that we focus on right now. That is student outreach, community development, and local implementation. Now, to go through them one by one, we define student outreach as students shaping school identity. We attend a university, and the students see it better than anyone else. So we feel they should have an effect on the brand image of the university as a whole. Students see the parts that those outside the university can't. And so they should have a different viewpoint and should be allowed to participate. When you search for Rutgers on Google, when you search news articles containing references, you'll get 1.4 million results. But the bulk of that is sports programs, something that might not appeal to most students looking to join a university. They look for academics instead. So when you take out any reference to football or baseball or soccer, basketball, lacrosse, it's narrowed down to 200,000 results. That's everything else in the university, including academics. And we feel that there are some things that should be focused on more prominently. For instance, when you search up, and this is our next goal, garnering positive media attention for the university. When you search Rutgers Quidditch, you'll only get 122 responses. And that's the fictional sport from Harry Potter, but we have our own competitive team. And that's just a cool thing that we feel should be highlighted and should be seen more in the media, because that is a fun thing that could influence a student to choose Rutgers over a different university. Our second goal is community development. Rutgers has over 450 student organizations, and all of those organizations, whether they be recreational, Greek life, or professional, like business related, they all, or most of them, put on events. And all of those events need some kind of social media presence and marketing strategy in order to convince students to attend. And with our team of designers and marketers, we feel we can work with student organizations and extend a hand to develop a better brand image of each organization on its own. So that's our second goal, assisting organizations with developing digital brand image and marketing strategy. Now, our third goal is local implementation. And this one is a little bit more ambitious because it's involving ourselves with local businesses. For example, we're partnering with local businesses for on-campus events. So just this Valentine's Day, a week or two before, we approached a local florist shop, Flower Station, and we asked if they needed a greater market presence in New Brunswick. And we asked if they'd like to donate any kind of flowers that we would pass out to students. Each of those flowers had their business card attached, and those students would give them to other students or to their families for Valentine's Day. So each of those cards is in all of those homes now, and that's utilizing Rutgers' network of students that this business couldn't possibly do without Rutgers University Marketing and Media. And this is real-life experience that is applicable on resumes and portfolios for our members. Another example, we're partnering with a local animal shelter, and their social media page currently looks like this. It's cluttered, it's hard to read, and it might deter a potential family looking to adopt. But with our members redesigning it and trying to give it a fresh new look, you can make it a lot cleaner and make it look more professional and approachable. Maybe inclining a family to adopt a pet from here instead of going to a larger business. So why are we requesting funding? Well, funding will allow us to host larger events. Currently, we have no funding, and we work in our free time to put on events that will garner media attention. But more funding will allow bigger events and allow us to funnel our creativity into something that might get national media attention. It will spread awareness to students, growing our team. This will allow us to print posters and extend a social media campaign of our own brand so that other organizations are aware that they can contact us and develop their own look. It will allow us to purchase better equipment for content creation. Currently, we have to either rent from student centers or rely on our members to bring in their own equipment. For example, we're going to the animal shelter and we're going to be filming like short films of each of the animals to put on social media with a little bio that hopefully through our network will expand awareness and hopefully help them get their animals adopted. And in conclusion, we are Rutgers University Marketing and Media, making memories. Yes.
So with this ask, what is the how much are you asking for to help you start this?
Well, of course, we'll take whatever we can get, of course. But this would be a startup or funding. That way we can prove our worth to the university. And then once the university sees the impact that a student-run club has, then we can request funding from the student assembly next year and hopefully have a larger foothold to prove why we should be funded.
Do you have a number?
Okay, if we're going for equipment alone.
You're talking about large, you know, you want to host this large event. So what are these items or things that involves this hosting a large event, and what's the cost in your mind?
Well, there would be rental of a space in the university, and I'm not exactly sure how much that runs. But since our organization is based off of donations from other businesses, because we promote them and they donate to us, allowing us to put on events, we manage to put on events with a very low funding rate. But of course, the larger we can go, the more students we can get involved, and the larger of a space we can rent out, and the bigger of an impact we can have for the university. So, in terms of numbers,
Well, how much are you asking in this right now?
right now, $500 would be a great startup cost.
How will you use those $500?
How will we use the $500? Well, first, of course, I said posters around the school, and we're looking into a company that'll produce promotional stickers and other items that we can give out that will just increase awareness of the organization. That way all of those 450 or more organizations can reach out to us, because it's very hard to extend a hand to all of them. And then we are looking into apparel, which is, of course, another awareness-based thing. And like I said, equipment, we are looking for a better camera, and the 500, part of it would go towards that. And we are raising money for membership fees as well.
So is the money going towards general marketing, or is it going towards events? Because you mentioned that you wanted to throw bigger events, right?
Yes. So what we want to do is we want to highlight the best parts of Rutgers. That way they get attention. And that involves us attending the events, creating the content, because a lot of the events that go on around the university, even though they're great and fun for students, aren't filmed.
Do you have specifics on what those bigger events are?
One that we're working on partnering with the drone company, Parrot. They make drones that have cameras in them, and we're working on an event where they come in and we set up a table with a screen where students can come and they can put on a virtual reality headset and then fly a drone around the campus in an aerial view. And this would allow us to record that, of course, to put up for promotional usage. And that's just the type of event that would get a lot of media coverage. Students at Rutgers University take aerial flyover of campus. That's something you can see being covered because it's not something that other universities are doing. But we need money to do that. We need something to convince them to come in and to show that.
So are you currently working with this company or
We have reached out to them and we're in talks with them as well as the animal rescue shelter that I've.
Is there a cost involved on bringing the company?
Well, we have to set up the space for them, but they would bring their own equipment. What we want to do is we want to have the headset and also a screen so that students who pass by can see what the student is seeing as they fly the drone around the campus. Because, well, that would just engage a larger crowd.
So you're basically a campus marketing agencies for various campus organizations and local businesses, right? So,
Yes.
So I guess my question is, what kind of services do you offer?
What kind of services? Okay. So we have a team of marketing students and design students. And
How large is that team?
about 20 students right now, but we're growing. Of course, we need awareness. And our services can include redesigning your social media platforms, creating a marketing campaign for you to students on campus, because there's a great network of students that a lot of local businesses can't reach out to, because they just can't have a presence on campus. They don't have the resources or the time to have a presence here. And that's what our group would provide, because it's a real life experience that students can put down on their resume as applied to an actual business instead of just their studies.
What does your fee structure look like? Or
Our fee structure?
Donation structure.
Oh, our from businesses?
From your the businesses that you work with.
Well, donations, we don't take monetary donations.
Sure.
We take, it really depends on what the business is. We went to the floral shop and we asked them to donate flowers because that's what they had. And it fit in with the event that we were planning. We were planning a Valentine's Day event where we go around the campus and just hand out flowers to people and record that as content to edit into a promotional video for both them and our organization. So like the drone company, it's whatever they have to promote themselves as well. We don't ask for a specific thing from each. It depends on the business. We work with the business to decide what they're going to donate.
Gotcha. And the benefit to your members would be getting something on their resume. You know, you've worked on this project before.
Of course,
and,
yeah.
and so forth.
Students, aside from an internship, which is hard to get, this would allow members to engage with several businesses instead of 4 internships in their 4 years, if they're lucky enough to get those. This would allow them to engage with each business and create a marketing campaign for each in a short time frame. And all of our members, we would assign teams to each business, provided we get large enough and have enough businesses who would like to participate.
Okay. And the projects themselves, they're usually how long in terms of duration?
Duration? Well, we'll work with a company for a week to 2 weeks,
Okay.
just to arrange them coming in, and if they'd like to send a representative to also monitor the goings on.
Okay. And you focus mostly on marketing strategy, or do you do implementation as well?
By implementation, what do you mean?
Actually doing the marketing campaigns and so forth.
Well, of course, we are the ones who go around the campus and interact with students. We don't just have their employees do it, because
Okay.
it would be strange
Gotcha.
for.
So it's not just a PowerPoint deck, you actually execute that.
Yes, of
PowerPoint
course,
deck.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Any more questions?
No?
No, I'm good.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Verizon. My name is Ian Bullard. I'm the co-president of the Rutgers Entrepreneurial Society.
I'm Jordan Cole. I'm the treasurer of the Rutgers Entrepreneurial Society.
So just a little bit of background on who we are as a club. We are RES, Rutgers Entrepreneurial Society. We are a community of innovators, creators, and founders here at Rutgers. So the club was initially started with the vision of making a cohesive, collaborative startup community here at Rutgers University. When we came here, our freshman year, this community was completely non-existent, and one of the things that we've learned from researching other universities is that having this network of founders for people to bounce their ideas off of and to learn more about entrepreneurship is quintessential to the success of any college startup community. So, like I said, club dedicated to helping make people more creative, and so the vision here for this club just as a whole is to help people build better businesses.
So let me tell you about a little story about a problem that faces many students on campus today. They have an idea for a company, and they seek out to start this idea, but they just don't have the resources and tools to really bring their idea to the next level. So RU Listings is a Craigslist-style company just for Rutgers students, and what they do is they give Rutgers students a community to sell and rent out. They can sell anything or rent out places and buildings, and it's safe because it's just rutgersstudents.edu. The problem is the kids behind it are all really smart guys, but they're all engineering students. So they lack, I don't want to say they lack business expertise, but in their case, they don't have the knowledge and resources to take it to the next level. That's where we come in. They came to us with a great idea and a great website, and we help them get marketing plans in place and help them get resources so they can acquire funding and take their idea to the next level. And that's what we're really trying to do with the Rutgers Incubator.
So the reason that we're here presenting to you guys today is because as of right now, we're in the process of developing a business/startup incubator here at Rutgers University. The purpose is, as Jordan mentioned, to help people who have great ideas, who are passionate about their ideas, who are looking to solve a real problem that students are facing on campus, and then to just accelerate the process of them developing their business. And there's a variety of different ways in which we plan to do this. So after we researched, I spent the better part of last semester just attempting to identify the best practices within every incubator around every college. I spoke to a plethora of people, of program directors for other college accelerators and incubators, and they really tried to just identify a few key resources that should be present within every incubator program at every college. The first and the most essential is mentorship. So every single company needs someone who has been in their shoes before. They're likely not solving the same problem. They're not going to be mentoring direct competitors, but at the same time, they need to be guided by someone who has done it before, because entrepreneurship is an extremely fluid process. It's very difficult to identify a core set of principles that every single startup should follow. But on that same token, so the next thing that we have listed is hands-on guidance. And what we mean by this is, in part, a fluid curriculum to teach these entrepreneurs how to build their businesses from the ground up. And that would just be a few key principles that are highlighted specifically by the Lean Startup methodology. Stuff like validate, collect feedback, iterate, continuously improve your product, just the very basic principles of startupery in general. The next is connections. So again, whether or not anyone is going to be mentoring these companies, they will often need to reach out to experts within their field who aren't going to give them as much time as, say, a mentor, but can still offer expertise in specific areas where their knowledge may be lacking. And then the fourth would be funding. So typically, these incubators offer direct investment. We have no intention of doing that because we are a student club and not a seed fund. So it would be a little bit out of line for us to try to invest in any of these companies. But typically, they'll offer prototype funding or funding for essential resources in the early stages, whether that be a patent application, the materials needed for a 3D printer, paying someone to actually design the CAD file so that they can prototype and print their product, and then continuously improve on it from there. And the last one, as Jordan mentioned, just help reaching the next level. So these startups have a good idea. They come to us usually with some form of MVP for their product, but they just have no idea where to take it from there. A team of engineering students is looking to solve a real problem faced by Rutgers students. And based on the data that they've already managed to collect, this is something that people would be interested in. But at the same time, they just don't have the knowledge to bring this to light. They're not sure how to actually get people to start using the platform, get people to start selling through the platform, start buying through the platform, etc. And that is one of the things that we want to assist these companies with moving forward?
So we're going to structure the incubator with 2 boards. The first board is going to consist of alumni and professors in the business school or any school where they have knowledge that could help these students. So this board will be in charge of really guiding the projects, making sure they stay on track, make sure they're using their funding in the right way, make sure that they're taking the necessary steps to actually grow their company and not kill their company. The second board is going to be of students who are just passionate about entrepreneurship. These would be like myself and Ian, who really want to give companies the opportunity to grow. So we're going to put in the man hours, the leg hours to really help them grow without them having to sell off their business early on. So we're also going to bring in other students who really want to they don't have the ideas themselves, but they want to help other companies grow. And they'll come in, they'll give these companies new ideas, and they'll just take them to the next level. Basically, both boards will be filled with people who are passionate about entrepreneurship, alumni, professionals, and students. Now, the application process for getting accepted into the incubator will be as follows. The student with the project idea is going to submit their application online, and then it will be reviewed by the alumni professional board, and then secondary by the student board. And then if they deem it's a good idea and the people behind it seem like they have good head on their shoulders, then they'll come in for an interview, or application interview or vetting, and then if they get through that process, they'll be accepted into the incubator. And then from there, they'll get the resources, mentorship, and like bi-weekly or monthly meetings with both boards to just make sure their project's on track and find out what their needs are.
So as I mentioned before, funding is the primary reason why we're here talking to you guys today, because we do not have the money necessary to give these startups prototype funding of any sort. And the way that we plan on structuring this is because we can't just give money to these companies loosey-goosey and just say, hey, go enjoy it, try to build the best thing that you can build. We want them to come to us with direct expenses. So they would say, this is what we need the money for. We then buy whatever it is they need and give it to them, however we deem fit. And so the reason that this is just so essential for any startup company is because college students, if you're unaware, are very poor. They have basically no money at all. Almost all of it's just going to tuition, food, board, etc. And so when they're trying to build out a company with no startup capital, it's extremely difficult to convince any angel investor to invest in a project that's especially as small scale as something like Are You Listing. If you're going to come to an angel or a VC, they're looking for a 10, 20x return over the next 10 years or so, and that's just way out of the scope of a small student project like this. And so what we're looking to do is just get together a basic fund to help these students take their ideas to, as we've said so many times before, the next step.
So mentorship is one of the core and probably the most important parts of this incubator. And RES has been compiling for years now and continues to compile extensive list of database of alumni and professionals in each field. So we'll find alumni who are successful in technology or food products or any type of products. And we're going to provide this database of mentorship to the students in the incubator so they know who to contact at each level. So it'll be like, I need someone who can help me get to this step. And they'll have an extensive database of who they should contact and reach out to at this place. And all the people on this database are very passionate about entrepreneurship. They want to help these students, and this is how you get to the next level. We don't know, we're students, they're students, we don't know how to get to the next level necessarily, but these are the people who do and who can help them get there.
And additionally, as I was researching Verizon, just as like a basic background for this, one of the things that I had noted that I just felt it's worth mentioning right now is that you guys actually have a venture incubator called Verizon Ventures within Verizon. I'm not sure if any of you guys work for that. If you do, tremendous, please let's talk afterwards. But another way that Verizon could just dramatically expedite this process and really help bolster this program would be if there's any way to possibly connect us with the people within Verizon Ventures so that we could just begin building a relationship with them and potentially access their networks. They would be, we would be ecstatic if there's any way we can just begin fostering a relationship with these people, just as an aside. But the last thing that I want to mention is just quickly how we would begin incorporating how we're incorporating this program into our member meetups as of right now. So currently, RES member meetups, these are bi-weekly meetups that we have every Friday and every other Friday, and we just try to brainstorm and continuously ideate to create novel business solutions. And so that's what we want to do, but we want to expand this program a little bit more to the incubator. So ideally, incubator companies would come in, they would present their companies weekly, their progress that they've made, the struggles that they're facing, and then RES as a club could collectively sort of rally behind them and just try to identify how to solve their problems, whether or not someone within the club can assist them in any way through a skill set that they may have, but the founders may not. And also, brainstorming sessions are set to improve just the overall idea, because as anyone will tell you, a hive mind is usually stronger than just a single founder. So just to summarize, the reason that we're here today asking you guys for anything is because we feel as though Verizon Ventures specifically has done a fantastic job building out businesses, and we feel as though there's a great deal of room for collaboration with both Verizon Ventures and yourselves. We're looking for prototype funding, and because we just want to see students building great businesses. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. And yeah, any questions?
So what do you see your portfolio looking like, or your pipeline looking like? Are there specific areas you're looking at, or?
So not necessarily. The areas that we end up accepting people into the incubator program is going to be primarily based on the resources that we have available. So if we have no mentors in a specific field, it would just be unwise for us to accept them into the program. But I mean, we're looking to bring in as diverse a portfolio as possible, because, like I said, it's not necessarily about making money or excelling in a specific field. It's just about trying to get people to continuously build businesses. So, thank you.
Yeah. Do you have a project in specific in mind that you feel like Verizon Ventures can participate on?
Actually, no, nothing specific in mind. It's just the reason that I brought it up is just because I want to open communication channels. Because in the future, I'm certain that there will be something that arises that will be of mutual interest. But as of right now, no, there's nothing specific in my mind that would be a proper fit for Verizon. But
How many members are in the organization right now?
about probably 200 to 300.
Okay.
Do you guys charge fees for these applications? So it's
Yeah.
okay. And
No
what's
fees
the
at all.
process? Do you guys go through those two boards
So
for acceptance, right?
Yeah. It was all detailed before. So people apply, then they're given an application interview. If the two boards accept, if the two boards like what they have to say, there's one more presentation, and then you can get accepted directly into the program.
Have you gone to any of the tech meetups in New Jersey?
Yeah. I'm actually friends with actually the guy's name's escaping me. That's all. But yeah, we've been to a few tech meetups. A good friend of mine runs the runs a marketing meetup in New Brunswick, actually. And yeah, so it's actually really funny that you bring that up. One of the first times that this idea was mentioned to us was at, gosh, I think it's NJ Tech Launch is the name of the meetup. That's the big one. They had the founder of not the founder, the director of entrepreneurship at Cornell speak, and he sort of told us that a program like this could accelerate the growth process of a startup community, because that's all we were trying to build. And this was like 3 years back, I want to say, that he told us this. So yeah, we have been to a few. We're not actively going out to them, but yeah.
You definitely should be going to them. I think there's always one happening every week, every 2 weeks or so, right? So there's one in Princeton, Moorestown, FDU, I think, has one still. Those are definitely places where you can continue to network.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the
Branch
suggestion.
out there.
So you guys mentioned Verizon Ventures. So I actually know someone who used to be in Ventures. He transitioned over to a team that handles university relationships. So that could actually be perfect for you guys.
Oh wow, yeah,
So,
that sounds like an amazing fit.
Yeah, let me talk to him, and if he thinks it's a good fit, I'll put you guys in touch.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Do you guys have our contact info, or?
I do not. I mean, we could probably talk later if you want.
Okay, yeah, that's
if you
fine.
have some like a card or something, I could be happy to take back.
I don't have a
So
card on
what's
it.
the extent to which you want Verizon to participate? Is this just kind of, we'll take your money and, or
Ideally,
is this,
not at all. I mean, so just sorry to cut you off, but to answer your question, I would like to have this be a long-term partnership with Verizon, because a company like yourself, I mean, just putting a name out there gives us such a great deal of legitimacy that that alone would help us tremendously. I mean, we would like to work with Verizon in any capacity possible, but it's more like what amount of time, what amount of resources you guys willing to dedicate. We're not looking for much aside from just money and a network. But honestly, even the money is subpar compared to the amount of resources that we could gain, the amount of informational resources that we could gain just speaking and continuously networking with the people within Verizon.
But what type of benefits do you think will be for Verizon?
So Verizon would have access to a slew of qualified potential employees moving forward. I mean, anyone who's actually developing a business in college, for the most part, they're pretty competent people, and they would make good employees usually. So they have access to a talented employee pool. And then in addition to that, if Verizon Ventures is actually interested in investing in any of these companies, if any of these have the potential to take off, then that could become a fantastic investment opportunity for Verizon Ventures. And then additionally, Verizon would gain the publicity of helping students build their businesses out, which, I mean, if you just picture the headline, it could be something tremendous, right? Where it's like Verizon has assisted the development and growth of 30 companies across New Jersey in the last X amount of years, something like that. It's good publicity. It's a great opportunity to develop a fantastic relationship, and then also you get access to a qualified applicant pool, all of which I feel would be beneficial.
So do you guys already have, ideas already brewing?
Yeah. So that's
About how many do you guys have already?
I mean, we have more than 5 people right now that are actively pursuing their company. And by actively, I mean they have an MVP down. The Are You Listening people have a website. It's completely functional. They're just in the process of trying to get people to actually use it. They're just looking to. They're developing a marketing plan and they're looking to recruit. And then we have another 4 or so ideas that are in very, very similar stages.
What type of ideas are those?
It's usually really, really small scale retail stuff. There are some people who have a lot of these moonshot type ideas. There's one guy right now who's in the process of developing what he's calling a virtual butler. So it's like a ridiculously ambitious project. Just almost make a smart house of some sort. Him and a team of other computer science people are trying to do this. It's hard to pigeonhole the ideas into a category because they are students with.
Why is it ambitious?
Well, it's ambitious because as a team of I don't want to be like downgrading the students in any way. It's ambitious because it's a massive undertaking on the programming side, and then also you then have to sort of retrofit the houses to support the functionality of their virtual butler system that they're looking to make. So I mean, I'm just saying it's ambitious because it's a lot tougher to execute than something like selling towels. So relative to other projects that are in the pipeline, I consider it ambitious.
That will be the type of project that will be interesting in participating.
Yeah, into the more that's what I figured. It's typical. Google Ventures is the same thing. Verizon Ventures, it's almost always these massive projects, right?
Like outside of the norm.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything game changing.
I'd like to give you my information after this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything else, sir?
Any other questions?
I'm good.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Cool. So good morning, everyone. My name is Sydney Gross, and I am a senior here majoring in packaging engineering, and I'm also the president of the Minority Engineering Educational Task.
And greetings, everybody. My name is Chloe Tucker. I'm a second-year biomedical engineering student, and I'm the Technical Excellence Chair at the Minority Engineering Educational Task.
So before we start, I just wanted to mention that the Minority Engineering Educational Task is a professional organization here on campus. We are Rutgers chapter National Society of Black Engineers. So our mission is to increase the number of culturally responsible minority engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community. So we're here before you guys today to present our educational plan to introduce and increase in the technical skills of senior citizens.
We're asking you all to invest $1,000 into our technical training that we have here to present to you guys today. So our background is that for all of us, we always have an elder or a grandparent or something like that who has an issue with communicating, whether it is getting around, visiting, or just simply not learning how to use a cell phone or an email. So we present to you guys training in nursing homes where we can teach bored and lonely and even helpless due to like loss of visitation, facing declined communication skills, and experience a decrease in memory system due to lack of daily activities, and just teach people who have no true way of keeping in contact with community and with their family and loved ones, such as talking to, their grandchildren, or just getting in touch with people via email or text message, some way to make it easier for those who cannot get around.
And we feel like this is extremely important because a lot of times when families place their loved ones in in nursing homes because they don't feel like they have the time to dedicate to fulfill their needs, a lot of times they forget that. A lot of times they're just sitting in there bored. So this is a great way to get them reconnected with their loved ones. So our proposition is pretty simple. We want to implement a long-term educational plan to teach elders basic computer knowledge. And we're not too sure where we're going to get ourselves into initially, so we want to keep the sessions pretty small, like to 7 senior citizens per session, at least just to begin, so we can see kind of the atmosphere we're working with. And our focus will first start off with ergonomics, then teaching them how to send an email and how to even make an email account. Then we'll move to Facebook, and then hopefully we'll do the mentally stimulating online activities, just so they're, instead of doing puzzles, or even if they do puzzles, they're able to interact with online games. And also too, we know that not everyone in a nursing home will be mentally able to take part in this, so it'll be suitable for elders who have adequate cognitive and physical abilities that will actually allow them to grasp the concept of learning how to use a computer.
So the benefit that we have in our proposition is it improves education, helps with mental upkeep, therapeutic, and it reconnects elderly to their family and other loved ones. So this gives them the ability to share pictures, videos, and even e-cards, which is easier to do than the old-fashioned way, and like we said, just getting around.
Okay, so the materials that we would need for this is just simply 7 laptops and notebooks and pens in case they would need to take down any notes. So once again, we're asking you guys to invest $1,000 into MEET's educational training program. So thank you for your time. Any questions?
So the $1,000 you're asking for is actually to procure the seven laptops?
Yes.
Okay.
And of course, if anything needs to go to any apps or any other materials that would help the elders, like we understand that maybe they may not be able to, move and anything like that, for those who have any type of disabilities and the way that they're sitting and therapeutic, things like that. So.
Do you have a process, selection process as to who?
Well, we will be in direct contact with the people at the nursing home because they would know better than we would know. So kind of ask them on their recommendations of what patients they recommend, to try out the program.
Yeah, we can also take the further notice into doing this by seeing who's visitation or
who lacks visitation.
Yeah, I'm saying who lacks visitation or who needs some type of stimulation for anything like that. So.
And your team members will take charge of teaching them, doing all the whole thing?
Yes. Actually, as a technical excellence chair, key business area and technical excellence, I would take the position to do that.
Okay.
Why laptops and no, for example, tablets?
Laptops.
Tablets is a good idea. I think we were just more so focusing on laptops because you'll be able to kind of use the mouse pad and be able to navigate it, and also like with the online games. Laptops, I mean, tablets is a very good idea, but I think we're more so just focusing on like the laptops.
Yeah.
I don't think
Also,
we thought about tablets.
sorry. Also, we want to make sure that they are taught the proper posture, and when teaching like on keyboards and everything like that, not everybody is able to necessarily have the like leisure position to use a tablet and everything. But definitely, we will take that in consideration. I think that's a good idea.
If you wanted to go down the tablet route, I think this allows your proposal to be more scalable.
Yeah.
So you can do significantly more than just 7 participants. You can
Yeah, I
do
understand. Definitely.
30, 50 people,
Yeah.
potentially at different nursing homes.
Yeah, we just wanted to keep it to 7 just to, like, we don't know how long, it would take people to grasp the idea of it. So we would just start it off at 7, but as long as people are all getting it, we take as many people as possible.
And just as a comment, this is not a question. This is something that the Verizon Foundation will be very interested in participating with you guys.
Nice.
Have you reached out to them or?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
We definitely will look into that.
Have you guys, did you want to?
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on the tablet comment. I mean, so my mom, she's like almost 70, and she never really learned how to use a computer per se, but she has a tablet and she loves it.
She loves
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah, I
we
think-
just got my grandma. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, sis.
I just got my grandma like a couple years ago. We got her a laptop, and she's been on it literally ever since.
And based on experience, my in-laws, they're back in Colombia,
Yeah.
and we got them a tablet. And my father-in-law, he's 82 years old. My mother-in-law, she's 70. And since we got them the tablet, they have been able to talk to our children,
Yeah.
and they loved it.
Yeah.
And it was a very quickly the way they learned it.
Yeah, I also think the good thing about tablets is that it does vary in size. So it's not like, because I know another thing what I was thinking about is a desktop or a laptop, is that it gives you a wider screen. But if you have a tablet and the screen is wider, and also when you have a tablet, I think it's more connected to like apps that allow you to do all the things that we would like to do. So I think that's definitely a great idea.
If you have any computer engineers within me, this is a suggestion. Think about creating like a custom user interface that has like 2 or 3 big buttons.
Yeah.
Right?
Easy to use, yeah.
So you don't have to fit around with like settings and like,
Kind of like they have the jitterbug phone,
right,
kind of like that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a jitterbug tablet for,
Yeah,
Senior citizen.
right?
senior citizen. Definitely.
Definitely.
Take that in consideration. Thank you.
Any more questions?
No.
No, good.
Comments?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you
great
for your
day.
time.
Yeah.
It'll stand on the inside of you, so the mic.
Can you hear
Hi
us?
there.
Hi.
We're talking. Blah blah blah.
Can people hear what we're talking
You
right now?
you say something.
Hello?
Say the alphabet.
A, B, C, D.
Say it as if you were normally saying it. Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E.
You wouldn't be leaning in. You'd be talking to them, right?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
A, B, C,
Keep
D,
saying.
E, F,
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Continue. Just restart it over again.
A, B, C.
I think I can hear you. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Do you have a louder voice?
Me?
She does.
Yeah, I do. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
A, B, C, D, F, G.
Okay. Awesome.
You guys ready?
So my name is Jamie. This is Sumathi. This is Akanksha, and this is Sunny, and we're part of the Society of Women Engineers. Slide. I don't have it. Someone will have to click for me. Okay, that helps. So what is SWE? SWE is a nonprofit organization. It's an international organization, and there are hundreds of collegiate and professional sections around the world. Here at Rutgers SWE, we are a collegiate section, and we're dedicated to promoting women in the STEM fields and showing them that STEM is a viable and beneficial career path. So we do this by, first of all, going to two conferences, one conference every semester, and at these conferences, there's tons of companies there that are actively recruiting, as well as there are plenty of networking events, workshops. We have sponsored record number of women from Rutgers SWE to attend these conferences in the past, and that's a big source of our expenditure, but there's so much benefit, and people get so many full-time offers and interviews from these conferences that this is what we want to continue doing, to sponsor these women to go to the conferences. We also have a lot of corporate partners. Every semester we have 4 of our weekly meetings be professional development events with companies, as well as a lot of off Tuesday events when we have companies come in for a lot of different events. Gives more opportunities like that. These are just some of our most recent sponsors, including Verizon. So that's our professional aspect of it.
Okay, so every year the Society of Women Engineers hosts an industry mentorship program where a SWE member is paired with an industry professional. And it's a 12-week program, and it allows students to have a mentor that's already in their graduate or working stage. There's also company tours where students can gain like professional or networking skills. And as you can see, there are many companies where the industry mentors work at. The SWEL program is a pairing of a underclassmen student with an upperclassmen engineering student, where engineers can look to upperclassmen for guidance. And this year we had about 80 mentor-mentee pairs compared to last year, which was only 40, so we had a double amount of students participating.
SWE gives a lot of emphasis to outreach and community service as well. We've worked with Girl Scouts America, and ROPE stands for Reaching Out for Potential Engineering Students. And one example of that is SWE Night. In the spring semester, we hold a night where we invite female high school students to come to Rutgers, and we try to give them the best possible Rutgers experience. So we started a new program last semester called Shadowing Day, during which it was the first time we held this program. We had about 20 to 25 high school girls come to Rutgers. They got to meet with professors one-on-one. There was a student panel where they got to ask us questions, and at the end we had an engineering activity, and it helped them to get a general idea of how engineering works and what are the benefits of women joining engineering. And we also give emphasis to community service. Last week we had an event called Smitten with Mittens, where we used sweaters to make mittens, and we donated them to a homeless shelter.
So with all the professional events and the social networking activities SWE is holding, SWE actually form a very family bond between these members, because you can meet your lifelong mentors in the SWE.
Also, SWIL program and industry mentorship program is very good examples about how SWI club is same about SWI can actually women empower each other. Women actually help each other, help people to actually going through the same roads they go through like before, and how they help each other become a leader. So that's all SWI about, and SWI really form a family bond and welcoming atmosphere for all the incoming engineering students.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Okay, a question. What are you asking funding for? And how much is you asking for?
So as I had mentioned about when I was talking about the conferences, by far our largest expenditure is the SWI regional and national conferences. This coming year, our national conference will be in Philadelphia, and because it's close by, we want to bring even higher record number of people to this conference. Last year we had 15 and that was a record, and we're planning to bring 30, maybe even 40 students because it has been proven. We even had a panel at one of our recent meetings of just women who went to this conference who were just loved it so much, got so many job offers, so many opportunities. Even like my internship this summer, I'll be working there because I got it at the national conference. And this is a great opportunity that no women engineer should not be able to go to because she doesn't have the money to go.
Okay, so the funding is for the travel to get to this.
Yeah. The
So as
hotel
many
flight.
students, hotel.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the process, selection, like what high school, how do you select this, or what students attend to your events?
So we don't have any selection process about how actually SWI girls, like the high school girls, can reach out to us. We actually open to everyone. That's how SWI is actually open to everyone. That's what SWI is all coming about. And also for high school girls, when they actually paired up, they have better understanding how School of Engineering is like, how engineering life, how they need to study in their freshman year and make less mistakes if they actually just go into college freshly. So it's kind of like SWI is providing a very professional events, which is helpful for both incoming students and also the student who is actually still studying here, and provide a bunch of professional development events for the people, for students.
And additionally, I'm going to add a personal experience. Like SWI Night was a very big deciding factor for me to choose going to Rutgers Engineering. I actually got an invitation, so like they reach out to some students, and because of that, I was able to convey like this event to my friends. And there's a link on the website in which like high school girls can sign up to come to this event. So we have a very efficient way of reaching out to people, and the word seems to travel pretty fast.
So, but how do they know? It's just by word of mouth is what you're saying for these high school students, or
We
to
send
know?
about the emails to the incoming, like Rutgers emailing list, because we have like incoming engineering girls like list, like kind of like we can actually reach out from Rutgers and we send out the email to them, and they will like invite them to come.
So to clarify, all of our events are pretty much open to anybody, and we do a lot of publicity and put flyers everywhere, send out mass emails to the undergraduate whole listserv to come to our first initial events. And now that when we start having over 80 members come to our events, then we keep track of attendance, and for certain events like the banquet and our national and regional conference, that's when we sometimes take into account attendance for how many other events have you gone to be able to receive sponsorship for example, going to the conferences, if that answers your question.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions?
No.
So actually, one more thing, just a comment, or not comment, but you guys spoke about tour to company facilities. Where have you guys gone so far?
We have Credit Suisse, which is one of the ones.
We've been, so the industry mentorship program that Sumithi mentioned about, it's in its third year of running, and we've gone to Credit Suisse, I believe, twice now. We've gone to AT&T once at Bedminster, their labs there, and we're also planning on, visiting J&J and Colgate because they're nearby here.
Have you guys ever tried to visit our Knox Center in Bedminster as well?
Well, that is a new opportunity that we will
Very
investigate.
cool. So
There's somebody we can get
we
in touch
have
for that.
labs upstairs, so I coordinate those tours. We've had middle school students to, any really from middle school and up visit our center, and this is the Network Operations Control Center. and we have the labs upstairs in Bedminster Building. So
If we could get your
I
contact
can
information.
give you my
that would be
information,
great.
but probably like April timeframe, we will, you guys can come and take a visit and take a look. It's like our little NASA for Verizon, right? So, yeah, you guys are more than welcome. So I'm a very big supporter of STEM and SWE, so I'm familiar with this, what you guys do. So, good. Any other questions, guys? All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
You guys.